All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very, very special episode of When Meant. I'm the Machinist, and today I'm joined by CMDR, one of the founders of Angel Finance, and now part owner of Levy. If you don't know what Levy is, I don't know where you've been in your life, but don't worry, because we're going to go through the whole platform real quick here for you. It's not going to take a long time and teach you how to use the platform, not only to your benefit, but safely as well. And please remember, like always, nothing on this show is financial advice. Okay. Do your own research. Every investment has to be right for you. Anyway. All right. So what's up, bud?
Not much. How you been, man?
Good.
Good to see you.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Probably
looking as shiny as ever.
Right. Yeah. I don't know what it is about this camera. I didn't even shave my head today, and it still looks shiny. Right. It definitely brings out the best.
I love it, dude. I love it. The glow is definitely there.
I appreciate it.
So we had a couple of folks in the Discord recently asking about how to use Levy safely and just how to use it in general. A lot of folks are interested now that we've taken over the platform, and they kind of want an introduction before they just dive in and start lending out their ADA. So figured who better to help me do that than my favorite bald compatriot and the Machinist over here.
And so, actually, smart community, right? They're like, hey, we want to research this first. So usually it's the total opposite. Says a lot for Angel Finance holders. But
we've got a lot of folks in there that are smart.
Yeah.
I thought most of the smart left Cardano, but apparently I was wrong. So
yeah, no, and I'm just kidding, obviously. But for anyone that doesn't know, you can find Levy by going to Levy with two V's, LEVVY.FI on the web, or at Levy Finance on X. And what exactly is Levy Finance, I guess, for people that haven't heard of it, maybe?
Yeah, so it's a lending and borrowing platform on Cardano. So you can either choose to lend or borrow on your Cardano NFT native assets, or you can choose to lend and borrow on Cardano native tokens. So we give people the option of loaning their ADA out for some very nice interest rates, or we give folks the option of borrowing ADA to do with as they please for a period of time. And then they are safe in the fact that their assets are secured should they repay that loan back in time.
Awesome. Hell yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
And you can use it for a lot more than just, like, even me personally, I'm kind of embarrassed to admit this, but I've done a couple loans here and there, right? I've lent ADA a couple times. I've gotten loans a couple times, but I haven't really used Levy to its fullest, right? This definitely is quite a tool that we have. There's a reason it's so popular on Cardano. So where do we start, right? If I go to Levy, right, and I hit that home screen, where do I go from there? What do I do?
Yeah, absolutely. So let me go ahead and just pull up the screen here real quick. So you start out here on the Levy screen. You've got your bars up here that you're going to use. So the first thing that you want to do is go to your loan section here. You've got a toggle up top here that's going to take you between NFTs and token lending. And this toggle works for a couple of different spots here, and we'll go over that as we get through it here. But so this is the NFT lending site right here. If you want to lend your ADA to someone and use their asset as collateral, this is where you would go to do that. We also have the borrow section. So another toggle right here, lending, borrowing. Lending, you can see what the highest offer is on a project. You can see how much ADA is in the current pool. You can even see how that ADA is distributed based on the loans that people are waiting to have go active.
Nice.
The duration, and then the APY, which is your percentage on a yearly basis of what you would get back. From the borrower side, you see all that same information, but then you see what your interest rate would be as far as paying that loan goes, right? So you've got all these different projects on here. NFT lending is, I would say, the simplest part of this. You can also see some of these traits or some of these projects have a SIP 68, which means that you can lend or borrow based on specific traits in the collection. I think that's pretty cool. Doesn't really get utilized as much as it should, but it is there should you want to go a little bit deeper into this. But we're going to stick with the basics today. So if you want to lend on an NFT, the first thing that I recommend that you do is do a little bit of research into the NFT itself, right? So let's take Sneckies, for example. Everybody knows Sneckies. They're pretty hot on Cardano right now. Showing a floor price of 369 ADA with a highest offer of 293. So the way Levy works is if you come over here and you want to borrow on Snecky, you borrow the highest offer. So
Right.
you don't get to choose. You just take whatever the highest offer is. So when you're lending or borrowing, you kind of want to understand what's going to happen should that asset get defaulted on, right? So let's take a trip over to Way Up here. Really digging this site. The reason I chose Way Up is because it is an aggregator. It is a marketplace aggregator, so it pulls prices from multiple different marketplaces across Cardano, not just a JPG store. So if you come over here and you take a look, you can see that your floor price is correct, 369 ADA. You can take a look at the activity. You can see what people have been buying and selling for, right? So the last, looks like it's been a while since. Okay, so we had an offer of 350, a purchase of 371 today. So 2 o'clock, somebody bought one for 371 ADA. So you can see that there's still movement, right? But if you go and take a look at collection offers, right now there's a collection offer of 320 ADA, 311, and 5 collection offers of 310 ADA.
Right.
So if you come back to Levy, you can see as a lender, say as a lender, right? You want to lend on this. I could lend right now at 294 if I wanted to. And I know that if this defaults, at minimum, probably within the next seven collection offers, I could get at least 310 ADA back, minus whatever fees I'm paying on the marketplace, minus whatever fees I'm paying on Levy. So you have to take all that into account, right? And my advice on NFTs is that if you're not interested in holding the asset, don't even lend on it, because should it default, there's a very real chance that collection offers may not be high enough for you to get your ADA back, and then you would be basically relying on flooring that asset and waiting for somebody to pick it up, right? So a lot of stuff to think about when you're lending on NFTs on Cardano.
And that's a great point, right? Checking those collection offers. But like you said, it is important to remember that just because they're there now doesn't mean they're going to be there in a week, 2 weeks, right?
14 days.
Yeah,
14 days. Yeah.
So the length of your loan. So it's important to do some research into these projects and make sure that it's something that, if I lose my ADA, is this something that can still make me money, or at least I can get rid of it to get my initial investment back?
Yep. And that's something that a lot of people do. So we actually have a anonymous community member. I won't mention his name, but he likes to lend on derps a lot. And he doesn't care if they default, because he's getting derps for cheaper than what he would get for buying them off the floor, right? So that's a strategy. If the loan gets paid back, then you get your interest and you get to throw another loan on whatever assets you want. But if the loan doesn't get paid back, then you're happy with actually retaining that asset and using it to make money in other ways, especially with derps, with their outposts and mining and all the rewards that they're getting over there. He's winning either way, right? So, yeah. So then that's basically it. You can see the activity feed over here. You can see what's been returned, what's been loaned out, what's been defaulted on.
Well, this could be pretty important too, right? Because you could see, like, okay, if I'm going to do a Snecky, like, let me go through the history. And is this something that people are, they're paying for, they're paying their loan and, getting those assets back? Is this something people like holding on to,
Yep.
collection?
And then, you also kind of want to check like price volatility on NFTs over like a 14-day period or something like that, right? See if there's been any major significant drops in the floor price of that project over the last 14 days, which could signal that the price is going to continue to drop, right? Which could automatically put you into a default. So there's a lot that goes into it. You can willy-nilly just loan on stuff that you're perfectly content with keeping if that's what you choose to do.
Like this.
But I highly recommend that you do some research first before digging into it. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And this platform really is built to help people make the right choices when it comes to borrowing and lending. Just really cool to see. There's a lot more to this than meets the eye, right? If you're just like, oh, it's a lending platform, whatever.
So tokens are a little bit more intense, I guess. So we don't do tokens based on floor price. We do tokens based on token price, and then you get a loan to value ratio, right? So if you look at Angel Token here, for example, the highest loan on Angel Token right now is an 83.39% loan to value ratio, which means that if somebody were to take a loan out on their tokens, they would get 83.39% of that token's actual value. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So say that this stays at 83.39% during the entire 14-day duration of the loan, and then they choose to default on that token, right? You just got those tokens at 83.39% of the actual cost of them on the DEX. So if you wanted to, you could turn around and go and sell those tokens on the DEX immediately for about a 16.61% profit, minus fees and everything else.
If it stays the same. Now, how does this move? Is that how much people are willing to, give up for the loans, or, how does that LTV change?
This LTV changes before the loan is put into effect based on what people are willing to lend and what percent of LTV they're willing to lend at, right? Okay. So if you take a look at the order book here, you can get 83% of your token value up to 6,799 ADA. Now, say that you wanted to take a loan out for 8,799 ADA, right? Mm-hmm. So your loan would actually trigger two different LTVs. You would get 6,799 ADA at 83%, and then you would get 2,000 at 81%, because that would fill your entire loan, right? A 10,000 ADA loan or a 20,000 ADA loan would literally go all the way through all of those different percentages until it fills up the entire ask.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. So you would get progressively less ADA for your tokens, but then you would also get lower LTVs, which would give you more of a reason to pay your loan back, right? Yeah. So it's good. It's good both ways. So I'm going to show you guys kind of how this works here, and we're going to talk a little bit about loan safety, right? So everybody has their own risk tolerance when it comes to lending. I know Angel tokens are basically at this point kind of like a stable coin, because we have a community that won't let the token price drop. You guys suck, by the way. Please let it dump so that I can buy for cheaper. I would greatly appreciate that.
That is financial advice.
I could probably lend ADA on this today at 83%. And this would probably at the max maybe hit 87, 90% throughout the course of the loan period. And it might even drop down because people are still buying Angel tokens and raising the price, right? So, but even with that being the case, that's too much risk for me personally. I'm not going to lend on anything over 80%. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to set my own LTV. My LTV won't be at the top, but I want to lend at 79%, right? I want to lend 1,200 ADA at 79% LTV. So this is going to tell me what my duration is, what my APY is, and the total interest that I'm going to earn off of that, okay? Total earned equals interest minus fees. So this is what I would actually get, interest minus fees.
And that's if you lend out that entire 1,200 ADA worth, right? If somebody takes less, obviously, than the 1,200, let's say they take, 600, then it would be probably about half of that.
Then it would be half of that, yeah. Right. Yep. Or if they take a quarter, it would be a quarter, so on and so forth. The APY stays static, right? So I'm going to lend this right now. Waiting. The password is never going to give you up. Never going to let you down. Never going to run around and hurt you.
Look how cute.
So my transaction was a success. So once that transaction clears, you'll be able to come in here and look at the order book for angels. And at 79%, you should see another 1,200 ADA get added to that specific LTV right there. So in order for my LTV to get hit, basically 11,799 ADA would have to be borrowed from the angel pool for my LTV to get hit.
Right, because
which means that I may have to wait a while, right?
Yeah, because like you said with borrowing, right, you don't have a choice. You're taking that highest LTV, right? If you're trying to borrow, that's just what you get, and then that has to run through.
Yep. So if I want to borrow, then it would tell me the exact same thing. My LTV, the interest that I would have to pay, not the interest that I earn, but the interest that I would have to pay. And then down here, it's going to show you what your average LTV is, right?
Gotcha.
Because it's going to pull from that 83%, it's going to pull from the 81, it's going to pull from the 80, it's going to pull from the 79, and then it's going to give you an average loan to value ratio down here. Nice. And that's what your loan would be based off of.
Cool. That is nice that it gives you that average LTV. And it's very easy to read, to understand, to see what's going on. You look at some of these lending platforms elsewhere on other chains, and it's confusing as hell, right? It really is. This is just, I don't know, it's nothing else like Levy, right?
That's one of the things that we liked about it so much, and one of the reasons why we were so adamant about purchasing it from the apes, honestly, was that the user interface is what people enjoy so much on Cardano, right? It's really easy to use. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand how to loan or borrow, or understand what fees you're paying or what interest you're getting should you lend ADA out. It's all really smart, right? So if you take a look here, 79% is now at 3,200 ADA available to be lent. So my ADA is in the pool now. There's tons of tokens in here. Some get lent on more than others. Some don't get lent on at all. You can throw a loan in anything, right? You can throw a loan in USDM. You can throw a loan in Kopi. And if somebody comes through here and they need that ADA, then it's there waiting, and they can take it. So understand your risk tolerance when it comes to your loan to value ratio. Know that Cardano native tokens are extremely volatile, as a lot of them have low liquidity. They're pretty much every token on Cardano is considered a micro cap when you look at the grand scheme of things.
Right.
And micro caps are very, very easily what's the word I'm looking for, Ken? Manipulated. Yeah. Very, very easily manipulated. So be careful when you're lending. Only lend what you are comfortable with, and stay within your risk tolerances at all times.
Nice. Now, obviously, we went over lending and borrowing for NFTs and tokens in some ways to, just do your research, make sure you're safe, understand what you're getting into, right? Like we always say, every investment has to be right for you, right? It doesn't matter what other people are doing. It's got to be right for you. So you need to understand what's going on. So what else can we see? What's this here? This was under the Manage tab.
Yep. So this is your management right here. This, again, you can toggle between NFTs and tokens for this. So this is where you manage your loans. Right now, this is pending because nobody's taken it. Right. So I'm lending 1,200 ADA on 181 angel tokens at an average price of 6.6298 ADA per token. I will be getting 5250 in interest, and then a 7.5 ADA fee would be going to the Levy platform, and back to all you wonderful angel holders, of course. Then you've got active loans. So once this actually gets accepted, that would then move over into the active loan tab. That's going to tell you the same thing: what token, the loan amount, your loan to value ratio. Now this right here, as soon as that loan gets accepted at 79%, this loan to value ratio fluctuates based on the price of the token, right? Okay. Token go up, loan to value ratio goes down. Token go down, loan to value ratio goes up. If your loan to value ratio is at 100% or over, that means that the price of the token is now lower than what you lent for, which means that they really don't have any reason to pay their loan back, and you'll likely get defaulted on, which is why I always tell you to be careful with your loan to value ratios and make sure that you're lending at your own risk tolerances, right?
Right.
Your interest will show up, and then the time left on the loan. So this time left right here, basically means that that's how much time that they have to pay you back, right? On the lens side. It'll start out at 13 days, 23 hours, 59 minutes, so on and so forth, and count down. Once that timer hits 0, if they have not paid back the ADA, that loan then defaults and moves into your completed loans, where you can then foreclose on it and you get the tokens.
Okay.
So
now with, let's say they pay back or they pay back early, is there anything that I would have to do to claim that ADA? Do I have to go in here to the dashboard and click claim, or is that just automatically done?
So once a loan completes, they pay it back or they default. Right. Then it comes over here into your completed loan section right here. These are some that I did back in February for LEVVY. So your status will say completed. Gotcha. And then if they defaulted, there'll be a button over here that says foreclose, and then you'll get your tokens back. You'll get the tokens that they used as collateral, or if they paid back, then you just click the button and it sends you your ADA and interest.
Nice, cool.
So it's all pretty easy. The main thing is just knowing how to navigate everything, right? So pending loans, active loans, completed loans. The same thing for borrowing. You've got active and completed loans. So if you look at the NFT side, right? No pending loans, no active loans, completed loans. Did some lending on book.io, Toolhead. So these two right here foreclosed, right?
Right.
Which means that I got the asset instead of my ADA back, which was fine because Book was at like 1,500 ADA at the time of that. And I easily got my money back on that, plus some. I still have that Toolhead. I am officially a community member now.
Nice.
Yeah. But so yeah, it's the same thing with NFTs. Your pending loans will show up, your active loans will show up, your completed loans will show up, and then you'll have a tab over here to actually finish that loan out once it's done.
Now, what about the stats tab up top? What's that all about?
So stats show you your individual stats.
Oh, nice.
As well as all the stats based on that particular thing, right? So from this account, I've loaned out a little over 4,500 ADA in 5 loans with a total interest earned of 136.38 ADA.
Oh, wow.
I haven't borrowed anything. And then you can look at all-time stats. So these are all-time stats for the platform. This is how much total loan volume has gone through the platform for NFTs specifically.
Gotcha.
So 34.11 million ADA. Total interest earned 1.12 million. You can see the rest of it here. Yeah. We're getting ready to break 40,000 total loans, which is I think is awesome. That should be a celebration here. And then the cool thing about this is if you want to loan on loan on projects that are actively being borrowed on a regular basis, you can come down here and you can look at the collection leaderboard, right? So Derps is in the lead right now with about 7.3K ADA loaned out. If you want to know where to get quick loans accepted, this is the place to look right here.
Right.
Then you can also go in here and you can see who is lending and who is borrowing and what their caps are, right? So it shows address of lenders and borrowers. It shows the amount that they've lent and borrowed within a certain period of time. So right now we're at 24 hours. We can go to 7 days. So our leader for lending is at about 35,000 ADA for 7 days. Our leader for lending is at about 75,000 ADA for 30 days. And then all time, our leading lender has put 1.36 million ADA into lending on NFTs.
And think about just up top what you would earn in 5 loans.
5 loans,
over 100 ADA. Oh, 136.38 ADA, 5 loans.
Technically that's only on 3 loans because the other 2 defaulted, right? So
right. Shit.
And then if you go and look over here in tokens, you've got the exact same thing. You've got your own stats, and then you've got your stats, all-time stats, 30-day, 7-day, and 24-hour stats for tokens specifically.
All right, man. Well, honestly, I got to say, like I said in the beginning of this, right, I'd used Levy a little bit, right? I gave a couple loans, took a couple loans, knew it was there, knew it was a cool tool, but I never really dug into it, right? And really looked at it like you're looking at it. Like this truly is an investing tool, I guess, right? Without financial advice for anybody out there that wants to use it, as long as you're doing the research and making sure that whatever investment you're making or choices you're making is right for you and is within, like you said, your risk tolerance. So with everything we went over, and with Levy about to hit 100 million ADA loan pretty damn soon, at the end of it all, why Levy, right? Why should someone come and use this platform and utilize all the tools Angel Finance has in place?
So we all want to be invested in the projects that we care about, and usually that takes up a large portion of our ADA. But the Cardano ecosystem is constantly changing, even on an hourly basis, daily basis, whatever. And there's opportunities out there for that ADA to be used that could still make you money, right? So Levy gives you the opportunity to unlock that liquidity from the things that you care about keeping. And as long as you pay those loans back, you don't really have the chance of losing it, right? So
Right.
if you see an opportunity available in the ecosystem, say you don't have the liquid available, the liquid is there for you. You just have to use the platform and use it responsibly and safely, right? And then you have to make sure that whatever play that you're making in that ecosystem isn't a complete and utter gamble that could lose you your money and your assets. So I think as long as you're smart about it, you understand how to navigate the ecosystem. Using Levy just unlocks a lot of options for you to make more money off of the assets that you're already holding anyways. So if that liquid is there, then grab it, use it, come back and get your tokens or your NFT back, and walk away with a little more ADA in your pocket.
Hell yeah. Right. If it's just sitting there, why let it collect dust, right? Put it to work for you. And if there's one thing that Angel Finance is good at, it's making ADA make more ADA. So, right.
Facts,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, thanks again, man.
Absolutely.
And everyone, don't forget, you can find Levy Finance by going to levy.fi just on the web, or you can find them at Levy Finance on X, and check out at Angel Coin ADA while you're there and learn about Angel Finance. Because if you don't have Angel tokens in your wallet, there's really something wrong. You got to work on that. But all right, man. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, my friend. Have a good night.
Of course. And hey, don't forget, people, if you have any questions about Levy, about Angel Finance, about what if CMDR is wearing pants or not right now, go to the Angel Finance Discord. And I'm always happy to help.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not.
He's not. I'm not either. But what before we stand up. All right, man. Talk soon. All right.
Penis.
Make sure,
It's been a while.
make sure we're uploading. We got to be professionals. This is about Levy Finance. God.
Sorry.
Fucking DJ.
Take it back.
We could have like outros after this. Like we'll play credits and then have the bloopers at the end.
I'm definitely down with that, dude. Everybody loves a good blooper reel.
Hell yeah. Why do I have Levy open? I guess So
I
close.
don't know.
I don't know. All right. I guess we'll start.
So we've got 61 million ADA in total loan volume.
All right. So with all of this said, right, if people want to learn more, actually, let me check that this is good. I can take this out. Is this light paper yours?
No, the light paper hasn't been updated yet. We're still waiting on our dev to get to that.
All right. So I won't even touch on that. So we'll just skip a wrap and overall, like, why come to Levy? I'll ask, like, all right, so at the end of all this, obviously it's an amazing tool, blah, 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 blah. Why use Levy? You want to hit something like that?
Yeah, give me a second to think of what my answer is going to be, though.
All right. All right. Well, tell you what, go back to the main screen. So we have the main screen up there too, and then I'll fade to us doing like the final question, just so everyone, because that landing screen's first thing they'll see when they show up.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha. Yep. The main Levy screen.
Yeah,
this one right here.
Yeah, perfect. All right, you ready?
Dude, we're about to break 100 million in loan volume.
That's awesome.
Jesus Christ.
Hell yeah.
Okay, bye.
All right, I think we did pretty good.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let me stop the recording, make sure we're uploading.